What's happening, peeps? BC here. Currently riding to work, not driving. My daughter's driving now. She has her license, and so she's handling the driving duties for now. So I'm on Twitter/X the other day, and unbelievably, there was yet another. I got no other way to say another idiot. Posting about how The Last Jedi was actually some kind of great movie, and using it as an opportunity to pound their chest to feel better about themselves, as they called out all the quote-unquote misogynists, racists, blah, 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 who, opposed their opinion. And I mean, it's beyond the pale at this point. Just why are people still doing this? Like, the movie is garbage, okay? And I'm going to outline it here because it's gotten so old that, people use that as an opportunity to go, oh, I called out the conservatives. No, you called out anyone with a lick of sense who has been a fan of Star Wars for an extended period of time and can understand a garbage movie when they see it. So let's start out with the garbage. Number one, Luke tossing the lightsaber. That I'm sure was supposed to have some kind of different outcome for fans than just going, oh God, here we go. And yes, that's what nearly everyone in the theater did when I watched it. I did pay to go see it in the theater. Basically, it was a, oh God, here we go moment, right? And it progresses from there between drinking, the titty milk, which was just gross. They turned Finn back into a coward. Now, here's where you really have a problem with calling people who oppose the idea that The Last Jedi is a great movie racists. We're pissed off that they ruined Finn. So if we're racist, why would we be upset that they turned Finn back into a coward, and made him have to go on some journey of discovery again, which he had already been through in The Force Awakens? He was ready to fight with lightsabers in The Force Awakens, like, oh, cool, we're getting another Black Jedi, ooh, another Mace Windu. No, we're going to take his lightsaber away and make him a coward. And, now, it's all about Rey. It's Rey. Okay, so we're racist because we're upset that you ruined a black character. Okay, that makes sense. Now, Rose. Are we mad that Rose is a girl? No. Are we mad that Rose is Asian? No. Are we upset that her character seems kind of useless and pointless other than as a character prop for Finn's now unnecessary journey of rediscovery? Yes. It was kind of pointless. Okay? Would have loved to have had, great Asian female character in there. Was Rose a great Asian female character? No, she wasn't. Right? It's got nothing to do with her race, her gender, any of that. She's just not a great character. I'm not even saying the actress was bad. I'm saying the character was crap. Okay? Now, let's talk about Laura Dern. Laura Dern's character. Absolutely fantastic. Written well, acted well, the obvious successor to Leia, and they killed her in a meaningless sacrifice after a white Bronco chase through space. Yes, that was the ultimate white Bronco chase. If you're old enough to remember O.J. Simpson in the white Bronco chase, you know what you watched in The Last Jedi, a white Bronco chase through space. And then she's dead, just like everyone else. That movie is literally kill everything about Star Wars with fire. And let's get to the ultimate. I'm sitting in the theater now, and I'm watching this disaster unfold, and I'm holding out hope. I haven't read any comments online. I've saved myself from any spoilers. I'm not one of those guys that because somebody on the internet says woke, I go woke like a freaking parrot, okay? I'm holding on by dear life, and we get to, the attack on the base, and Luke Skywalker shows up. And he's a total badass. And I'm like, yes, I'm watching that. Yes, finally, we get the payoff. Finally, we see ultimate badass Luke Skywalker. And oh no, wait a minute. He was projecting a force vision And he thought himself to death floating over a rock. So the character that the expanded universe, which used to be canon before Kathleen Kennedy threw it all in the trash, established him as pretty much the greatest Jedi ever. And Rian Johnson had him think himself to death floating over a rock. Yeah, so if you're defending this movie and trying to call people out as somehow bad people for disagreeing with you, you're not doing it because the movie was actually good. You're doing it over the political narrative. And you're hoping that the people that pop up are going to just be people from your echo chamber. And you want to try to make people feel bad because they recognize crap when they see crap. And that is not, I mean, what kind of fan are you trying to be when you do that, honestly? Are you, and all props to Mark Hamill. He is really a great actor, but this idea that, Star Wars is only for certain people that they've come up with now in the age of Trump is just, that's not what it ever was. That's not what it ever should have been, right? Because, just, you look at the makeup of the original Band of Heroes, the decrepit old dude, which, good God, the kind of the stuff he spouted, he was definitely a boomer. You had Han Solo, who definitely shot first. He was definitely a criminal. Some wide-eyed farm boy who didn't know nothing about nothing. And then some, princess hoity-toity who thought she knew everything but didn't. And, it was diverse. And it wasn't, when they added in Billy D. Williams as Lando Calrissian, absolutely amazing, right? So then you start getting the racial diversity that it needed. But the mental and emotional diversity is what was so great. And that's the kind of diversity you people today seem to have forgotten about, right? There's different kinds of diversity. It's not just skin color. When you're focusing on skin color, you don't have the right to call anyone a racist. I'm going to tell you that point blank. But at any rate, the first problem with The Last Jedi is, of course, Kathleen Kennedy, who threw the entire expanded universe straight in the trash. And there were lots of good stories there. One of the key moments in The Last Jedi I thought was going to be good, but wasn't, was when Yoda shows up. And I'm like, oh, cool, yeah, Yoda's here. And no, he decides to, everything about the Jedi is wrong, and let's trash it and let's burn the tree. And, we had just gotten the little, glory moment of him bopping Luke on the head with his stick, even though he was a ghost. He still physically bopped Luke on the head, which was cool. Everybody, ha ha ha, funny, it's good stuff. But then, they burned the books, they burned the tree down, and it's like, okay, so what they established in the expanded universe that took Luke decades to finally figure out, they have Yoda show up and just do in the blink of an eye. And that robs everyone of learning about Luke and who Luke is and what it took for him to realize that the Jedi were doing everything wrong by following the model of the Old Republic, that he had put the new Jedi in serious jeopardy and that he had to change everything. And the big change was not to destroy the legacy of the Jedi, it was to stop being beholden to government. That was the lesson Luke learned, and they just threw it all out. So when crap is crap, let it be crap. Don't stand on a political soapbox and try to shame people for recognizing that crap is crap. The Last Jedi is crap. White Bronco chase through space, kill everything with fire, destroy the entire legacy of Star Wars, have the Jedi, Luke Skywalker, think himself to death over a rock, and then call people misogynistic for not liking that. That's dumb. There's so many great stories in the expanded universe that could have been used. And I'm going to go ahead and point this one out yet again. Dark Lord, The Rise of Darth Vader. You know why people are digging Ahsoka? Because Ahsoka's a badass character. And we have yet another glimpse of Darth Vader. You know why people loved Rogue One? and more people like Rogue One than you may want to think. Rogue One's actually a very good movie. And some of the biggest moments, one of the most badass moments, was Vader. And people like Vader, even though Vader's the villain. Vader's a badass. And there is so much in this world today of lack of masculinity, lack of badassedness, where, people seem to think that being accepting of others requires some kind of level of wimpiness out of people, and it doesn't. Sometimes you just want to be entertained. And Star Wars fans want to see Darth Vader being a badass. And that's what this book is. Now, Obi-Wan did well, right? Ahsoka's doing well. You make that book, Dark Lord, The Rise of Darth Vader, into a Disney series, and it's a hit. Because it features awesome characters like Ellie Starstone, which I think I'm getting her name wrong a little bit. I haven't read the book in a while. I keep it in honored reverence. But she's a great character, just waiting to be cast by, say, Zendaya, right? You have, other cool Jedi that, a guy who has to try to find his link to the Force again. And you have this awesome progression of Anakin Skywalker from Anakin to fully embracing Darth Vader. And some awesome moments between he and Palpatine. The book is fantastic. And that's a story waiting to happen on Disney+. And y'all have to forgive me, the sun's in my eyes right now. But there's a difference between good stories and bad stories. And The Last Jedi is a bad story. And at this point in time, everyone knows it. And continuing to stand on a soapbox to try to shame people for recognizing it's a bad story is passé and pathetic. So stop it.